County Board of Chosen Freeholders was provided in the following manner. It was published to the press of Atlantic City, mailed to the Current, Daily Journal, Hammond and Gazette News, and posted on bulletin boards in Atlantic County office buildings in Atlantic City, here in Stillwater, in the county clerk's office. We all remain seated for an opening prayer. I guess that'll be me. First, we'd like to take a moment of silence. We had the passing of two individuals. Mary Wilson, the wife of a former freeholder, Dr. Charles Wilson, and the gentleman, Louis Farrow, who I believe has a relative working at Atlantic City High School. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. Oh, Heavenly Father, grant us the wisdom to walk in thy light and the courage to accept the responsibilities placed upon us. Grant that our principles may be sound, our decisions wise, and our performance in office faithful. Amen. Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Bennett?
Here.
Martino?
Here.
Corsi?
Of course I'm here.
Days?
Here.
Fitzpatrick?
Here.
Gatto? Kern?
Here.
Risley?
Here.
Formica.
Here. Freeholders, if we've had a chance, we were given the minutes from May the 5th. You had a chance to read them. If you were present, you have any additions, corrections, or comments to make them now, or I would request a motion to adopt.
Motion. Second.
Moved in seconded. Please call the roll.
Bennett? Martino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Formica.
Yes. Okay, our first order of business today is a COVID-19 update. And I believe our Atlantic County Health Public Officer Patricia Diamond is here. Is that correct?
Hi, good afternoon.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Very good today, Pat.
Okay, all right, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I just have a few things to report, some updates since the last time I was here at the last freeholder meeting. The total number of cases of COVID-19 in Atlantic County are 2,604. There's been 182 deaths, primarily, unfortunately, in the elderly population and those with underlying health conditions. However, for the third consecutive day and the sixth day over the past 9 days, there have been no COVID-19 deaths in the county. I'm happy to report that over 1,330 individuals have recovered from COVID-19, and our testing continues. We are now located, as you know, at the Public Works Yard on Dolphin Avenue in Northfield, here in Northfield. It's a drive-through clinic. And since it began on April 9th, we have had 19 drive-through clinics and have administered 2,000 tests. And what I am pleased to report is we are continuing to see a decline in those that test for COVID-19 to be positive. At the most recent testing showed a 19% positivity rate, down from 20% on the previous statistics taken. The drive-through location has been reduced to 1 day a week because of the low volume. And that's pretty much due, we feel, to a lot of different locations in the county that offer testing now. There's testing, of course, continuing in Atlantic City at the Surf Stadium and at the Showboat. But there's also testing now at the CVS in Pleasantville at 900 North New Road and in Brigantine at 3313 Brigantine Boulevard. And this is a no-cost 7-day-a-week drive-through testing, but an appointment is required. So it's actually offered every day. Also, fairly qualified health centers offer testing in Atlantic City and Atlanticare, Southern Jersey and Pleasantville, and also in Hamilton. They are free and they are walk-up clinics. Urgent care, Atlanticare offers testing by appointment. An appointment can be made at any of their urgent cares throughout the county. We continue to do contact tracing, positive case interviews. We've interviewed and contact traced on all of those 2,600 cases in the county. We have been working 7 days a week since the beginning of this pandemic, doing the contact tracing. We work with public health staff, and also we have volunteers. But soon, hopefully, the state will be able to support our efforts by providing contact tracers that they will hire and that they will train to reach out to those residents in our county for case interviewing and contact tracing to ensure if someone is positive, they receive education on how to take care of themselves and how to contain their illness. We have also released our quarterly newsletter for the summer, and it's all concentrated on COVID-19. Some of the highlights are for people how to manage anxiety around COVID-19, basic information for individuals on how do I need to take my temperature, since that is one of the symptoms of COVID. But we're finding with our contact tracing that many individuals are not familiar with how to do that. Also, we have information regarding health actions to protect you and your family, which is actually a 2-column. I'm not sure whether or not you recall, I distributed it early in the spring, but it has been since updated. But it really takes a person's health status. I am not sick and have no symptoms of illness, but what should I do? And it just basically for that individual would be to monitor your health. Or perhaps you're elderly or have an underlying condition, what do you do? Well, you monitor your health, but you really want to concentrate on perhaps avoiding large crowds. You know, I am not sick and have no symptoms, but I was a casual contact of a confirmed case. And it goes through those steps and on, and there's about 6 or 7 different categories. So we're distributing that to our churches, our nonprofit organizations, our municipalities, our hospitals, our fairly qualified health centers, and we also do get it translated in Spanish. Other public health activities, our environmental health unit are working hard and reaching out to over 800 retail food establishments to make sure that they are aware of the new guidelines if they intend to offer dining outside. They're also reaching out to over 300 recreational bathing places to make sure that they are aware that there's guidelines that they need to follow in the event that they choose to open. Our youth camps, we've been working heavily with the managers and counselors to make sure that they're aware of the guidelines that they need to take to be protective of their staff and their children if they decide to open. And with that, if there's any questions or if I can update anything further, I'm open to any questions that you may have.
Yeah, Pat, there is one question that floats around, on the radio stations in the morning. The commercial establishments that are offering testing, like Urgent Care, Atlanticare, and different pharmacies, do they need a doctor's prescription to get a test?
It depends. Okay, your Atlanticare, your Urgent Care, you're seeing a physician, will write a script, and then you go through their drive-through. Okay, your CVS's, it's self-reporting symptoms, and if you are a healthcare worker or an essential worker, then you can get a test. So it does vary on who you are getting the test from. The Fairly Qualified Health Center, they really test asymptomatic or symptomatic individual. So you don't need a prescription. However, you are visiting a healthcare facility. So you really are kind of getting an idea of if an individual is reporting symptoms.
COVID positive. It's been about 34 days, and she's at Meadowview, and she recovered wonderfully. So I want to commend the work of the health department in Meadowview as it relates to that particular case. And she's now allowed to terrorize the hallways with her wheelchair.
Thank you. I'll pass that on. That's good to know, because the long-term care facilities are having a tough time, as everyone knows.
Yeah, now I want a value-free moment. I want your opinion. There's been much talk in South Jersey over the past several weeks of the differential between the COVID-19 statistics that you just reported now and the ones in Bergen, Essex, and Hudson that everybody knows about. In your opinion, do you think that there would be a feasible way to give business owners, the responsibility of carefully opening the inside of their restaurants in a different time frame than North Jersey?
Well, as it's been said, data drives the decision. The positivity rate that I just gave you are people that are coming through our drive-through that are symptomatic. So that's at 19%. So the guidelines that really outside dining is following, youth camps are following, recreational bathing, are put together by subject matter experts that have experience in inspection and also in communicable disease control. So without those guidelines, really, I can't advise anyone, because that's what we are sharing with all those facilities that I just mentioned: youth camps, the campgrounds, the recreational bathing, and the retail food establishments that are having outside dining.
Okay, thank you. Any other freeholder questions?
That sounded like that was a loaded question, Chairman Freemaker.
It was a very unloaded question. I wanted to hear our health expert give an opinion of our particular area. And since nobody else in this screen is an expert, I asked her.
I object to that. I thought I had a little bit of experience for the last couple of weeks, but
You have experience. Yeah, it's just expert experience.
Without
right.
objection.
Any other freeholder comments?
I just want to add, I know it's a tough thing, but the guidelines, they are working on them, and they are producing good information that owners and managers are following. If they've got any questions, they can contact us, but we really do need to err on the side of caution.
Well, I'm just saying the differential
Yes, that's
is
true.
our COVID-19 statistics, all of them are 10% or less of North Jersey in certain areas. You shouldn't have to kill a mosquito with a sledgehammer down here. We're just looking for a little help before 4,000 restaurants go out of business in South Jersey.
Right.
So, but thank you very much. We'll open it up to the public. Anyone in the public wish to make a comment or a question of Patricia Diamond, our healthcare officer?
Creed Pogue is asking, would it be a good time to expand the testing to the asymptomatic? So the reality would be, if you want a test, you can get a test.
There are places that do offer asymptomatic testing. Okay. The symptomatic tests really are prescribed by a physician, because you do want to be able to get a handle on those individuals that are ill so that they can be cared for properly. But if a person wants to get tested just to determine whether or not, with symptoms that they may have the virus, there are facilities out there for that. One of them being the federally qualified health centers.
Thank you. Any other questions from the public?
Isn't there a consensus that widely available testing is part of being able to reopen again from Creed Pogue?
Yes, and we're seeing a lot of testing available at the CVS's, the 2 pharmacies coming in, the federally qualified health centers, Atlantic Care, at various urgent cares. They provide a prescription. There's also Health Med in Atlantic City that provides testing. We're rolling it out to vulnerable populations. Atlantic City has been selected to offer testing at two of their high-rise senior citizens centers to provide that for those residents. We're also rolling it out now through the Southern Jersey Family Medical Center to our migrant farmers so that they're starting testing. So there is a lot of testing going on.
Okay, any other questions from the public?
No, no other questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat. That was enlightening and it was encouraging as well.
Mr. Chairman, before we go, before Pat leave, may I?
Please.
Pat, just as, and so as the freeholders know, that Atlantic City's testing will stop on the 25th, I believe it is. We're now going to have to go out to, we want to extend it at least another month. We're going to put it out to bid. The state has recommended and basically told us to put it out to bid. It's no longer considered an emergency, so we couldn't extend the existing contract. We're going to, Thursday, we'll advertise for 10 days. We'll probably have within a week. I know Atlantic Care is in the process of doing testing. Harold from our health department indicated most people are moving testing to inside 3 days a week. And 2 walk-ups. That is our goal going forward. We believe it's going very well, but we have to go out by law now to bid it. We just don't. We hope it's not a long break in service in terms of continue to provide testing. As you know, the state has asked that testing be given like the county on our part, but now they're forcing us to do a bid process. We just hope that it's not a long, drawn-out process. But thanks, Pat, for all the help the county has given us, and we'll see where we go from here.
Okay, you're welcome. Everyone stay healthy.
Thanks, Pat. You too.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to our next item on the agenda, we have a presentation.
Information regarding the primary election 7/7/2020 by Maureen Bogdan, Atlantic County Superintendent of Elections and Commissioner of Registration.
Maureen, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Chairman and freeholders. It's nice to all see you. I hope you're all healthy and well. So we have a lot of changes for the upcoming July 7th primary. Today is the close of registration, as I hope you are all aware, and our office has been very busy receiving registrations safely with COVID-19 safeguards at our door. And it's been a very, very brisk and busy day here in the county seat of Mays Landing. So what can I tell you for this coming election? Executive Order number 144 from Governor Phil Murphy postponed the election to July 7th. And it is primarily, for passing this on to your constituents, primarily a vote by mail election, which means although there will be approximately, I believe, 63 polling sites open on election day, those sites will only be distributing provisional paper ballots, not much different than your vote by mail ballot, to folks who appear in person, with the exception of the disabled who cannot vote a paper ballot for some reason. They will be offered the use of an assistive device on the voting machine that will be located at each of those 63 polling sites. Primarily, all of the remaining voters will either receive a Democrat or Republican ballot. Many of them have already been received by the voters themselves. And if they are unaffiliated, they will be receiving an application for a ballot. And it's a special application this time because you will be declaring a party if you wish to vote in the primary election. So in the old days, you used to get a Republican and a Democrat ballot. You will not be getting that this time. It was not automatically mailed that way. Just like if you had showed up at the polls, if you could vote on the machine where you declare your party, that's how it'll work. You will declare your party via the mail for a mail-in ballot, and it will be sent out from the county clerk's office to you. In addition, because there have been problems with the United States Postal Service and the State Division of Elections, as well as election officials in every county, have been working with our friends at the United States Postal Service. But because folks do not necessarily always trust the mail and want to be sure that their ballot is being delivered, as this is, primarily a vote by mail election and a lot of ballots will be coming in, our county will be receiving 5 special drop boxes that'll be placed throughout the county where voters can deposit their voted ballot in that drop box. And those ballots will be retrieved on a daily basis by the Board of Elections staff, up to and including the close of polls at 8 p.m. on July 7th. So a list of those Dropbox locations include the Atlantic County Office Building in Atlantic City, Buena Vista Township Municipal Hall, in Galloway Township also Municipal Hall, Hamilton Municipal Hall, and did I say 5? Also Egg Harbor Township Municipal Hall. If I said that twice, I apologize. So there really are a lot of options for you to get your vote by mail ballot back to the Board of Elections. And again, due to some delays we've experienced, and certainly every county in the state is doing this, the Board of Elections is free to accept postmarked ballots that are postmarked July 7th or earlier. They are allowing those to be accepted up until 7 days following the election. It has to have that postmark. You can't vote it and, Monday morning, or rather Wednesday morning, quarterback it. If your guy or gal didn't win, you can't mail it out the day after the election. But as long as it has a postmark that you mailed it on election day, and it is received by the Board of Elections for processing within 7 days, that ballot will be live and will be counted. What else can I tell you? There is, we've been very, very happy that Linda Gilmore, I just have to tell you all, is fantastic as the public information officer for the county. She's always willing to work with us to get the message out. And on the homepage for Atlantic County, aclink.org/elections, second box down on the right is all the information, some of which I've already relayed to you. In that box for Atlantic County residents or for yourselves, if you want to keep track, because there are a bunch of changes, of course, due to COVID-19. For those polling sites that will be open to process provisional paper ballot voters only, as well as those disabled who cannot vote a paper ballot, they will have poll workers at those sites. COVID-19 safeguards will be in place. The polling sites are being sanitized, and anything that is utilized within the polling site will be sanitized during the course of the day and in between voters. And so we certainly ask for the public's cooperation with that. And having said that, the only other thing to really relay is that this is a unique election. There are a lot of changes. Election officials are dealing with a brand new statewide voter registration system that debuted in January. And we're still getting used to the system, and the system still has some glitches. It's widely known in the election community, and they're working to continually fix those so things can run a little bit more smoothly. But above all, we ask for your understanding. We ask for your patience as election officials. Our staffs are working just as much as they can within the same safeguards as you all are, and in dealing with the public. So if you could just keep calm heads, calm minds, and calm processes, we'll all get through this together. However, please don't expect, for the tight races, please don't expect your results on election night. There will be many more ballots to process. coming in that 7-day period, as well as all of the provisional ballots countywide, which will need to be processed. So you may not know the winners of the games until a bit afterwards. And I just want to give a big shout out to all the election officials who are working so hard to undertake these changes and make sure that we can get you the results you all need. Anybody have any questions?
Chairman, I have a couple.
By all means.
Okay. Hey, Maureen, thank you so much for joining us. And again, thanks to all the work your staff has been doing and is doing through the primary election. Just a couple of questions. Not sure if I missed it when you were speaking with regard to the ballot boxes. When will they be placed out?
They are in transit. They are being received by the Board of Elections, and I don't know if they've received them yet. And there is they will be under surveillance. That is the requirement. So hopefully that's been achieved. And they will be placed in those 5 locations, hopefully by the end of this week. I do not have an update as to whether they have been received as of yet. I apologize for that. It's not my office receiving, and they are quite cumbersome.
Okay. And then there's a 6th location, right? Is the Atlantic County Clerk's office in Mays Landing that we could also drop off ballots? Is that right?
Ballots actually get returned always to the Board of Elections. That's the bipartisan office that receives voted ballots.
Right. But on Main Street, Mays Landing, though.
Correct.
Right,
There's not
okay.
an outdoor drop box. However, you can use the drop box that's located in the vestibule by signing in with security. And what standards they have between now and July 7th, and so far as getting through and to their office, we'd have to speak to the board on that.
Okay. And then with regard to the mail-in ballot process, were you given any guidance as to will everybody now be on that automatic receipt of mail-in ballot list for future elections, like the general election, or are we not going to be put on a recurring list now?
So we have not been told that. This election is strictly a COVID-19 safeguarded election with all of this special process to keep voters and poll workers and election officials safe. And really, irregardless of where we are on July 7th, you have to remember many of these things had to start happening 6 weeks ago. And so when you look back and you go, okay, here's where we were 6 weeks ago in order to make a call to keep everybody safest, that's why this occurred. So no, we have been given no indication that you will now automatically be on an all vote by mail list because you didn't request this. If you were on it before for a prior election, that might be the case. But if you've never been a mail-in ballot voter before, the governor's executive order acted as your application, so to speak, but that should not be how you are then categorized within the system for future elections. Now, having said that, full disclosure, that may not have been the case in 2016 when folks were automatically rolled in. So I can't say that inevitably won't happen to anyone or everyone, but as of right now, that is not the case and not the intent.
Great. And then one final question with regard to voter registration. I know we're kind of coming to the end of the business day today. If people download the voter registration form online today and get it postmarked today, are they still considered registered? Or does it have to be received by your office today?
That's a very good question. We usually allow for a little leeway. It is superintendent's discretion. We are open. We have extended hours today.
Okay.
And they can drop it off to their municipal clerks as long as it has a timestamp as received by any municipal clerk who is also an election official. They make sure that registration gets to us and it is accepted as timely.
Oh, great. Thank you. And what time is your office open till today then?
Until 9 p.m. There is a drop box mounted right outside of our office in the county seat. They can deposit it there as well. And even though we are only open until 9 p.m., offering those extended hours, as long as it is received this evening, we know somebody made that attempt. We're going to err on the side of the registrant.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks, Chairman.
Chairman,
Thank you. Yes. Freeholder Corson.
if I may, Maureen, thank you so much for the update. I just received a call maybe 20 minutes ago. A young lady had received a ballot for the vote no question in Atlantic City, and it came in the mail. She just got another letter. Says now that she has to fill out a form requesting ballot. Is that accurate? Do you know anything about that?
So she most likely is an unaffiliated voter, and rather than mail a ballot or two ballots to her, actually, which is what would have occurred in a different primary election in prior years, the governor's executive order required that anybody who is not affiliated with a party, who is a registered voter, receive an application to declare a party, and then they will be mailed their ballot. So she should indeed fill that out and return it.
Okay, thank you very much. That's a good point. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other freeholder questions? Seeing none. Anyone in the public wish to ask any questions concerning our Board of Elections? Any public questions?
Freed Pogue is asking this more for the Board of Elections. Will ballots that are undervoted be reviewed for indications of voter intent?
I used to be with the Board of Elections, and now my capacity is as superintendent of elections. But I can tell you, each ballot, at least when I was on the board, and I believe they follow a very thorough process. Once the application, the mail-in, in fact, I have mine here somewhere. Once the exterior, this portion, if you can all see, is zipped, we call it zipping and stripping, is torn away, the ballot remains sealed in this envelope. However, you do not know who voted it, okay? So then once the ballot is eventually removed for processing through a scanner, before that, it's reviewed to make sure there are no marks. When I say marks, other than the votes. In other words, it didn't say, you know, vote for me, vote for Rich Days across it, you know, which would be considered a marked ballot, which is not legal to be processed. It looks as though somebody's tampered with that ballot. No offense, Freeholder Days, you were looking down, I thought I'd get your attention. So having said that, so it is reviewed, and as far as undervotes are concerned, that question would be more suited for the board and their current process. I'd encourage you to have them to ask that question during one of their public meetings. But it is a very thorough process, and they look to get through every vote possible.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions from the public, please?
Freed Pogue just said thank you.
You're welcome, Mr.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Bogdan, for that information. We appreciate you coming here today. Thank you very much.
More than welcome. Thank you. I'm going to hang up, I think.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, we'll move on to our regular agenda. And we are going to look for ordinance number 4.
An ordinance amending the code of the County of Atlantic by repealing Chapter 86, Land Development, and substituting therefore a new Chapter 86 to be entitled Atlantic County Land Development Standards, and repealing ordinance number 3 of 2002 and ordinance number 3 of 2010, final reading.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Freeholder comments or questions?
I have one question, please.
Freeholder Fitzpatrick.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the summary that was sent to us to explain the ordinance. My question is probably very simple. It says that we are removing Transportation Development District references to those. What is that?
Jerry, if you would.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the question. Could you repeat that, Mr. Freeholder?
Sure. Summary that we were sent describing the changes in the ordinance talks about removing references to the Transportation Development District. What is that? Transportation Development District?
Yes, there are several of them that are outlined. I believe one was like in Galloway or whatever. So they're removing them because they'll probably be organized if they actually come into existence. So that's probably why they're coming out now. There's one like in Pleasantville, so that one will stay in the ordinance. There are other areas in the county that have been designated. They've never come into existence, so they've just removed them from the ordinance, and will probably proceed forward if, in fact, they actually come into existence. That's why. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other Freeholder questions, please? Anyone in the public have a question about ordinance number 4?
No questions.
Please call the roll.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bennett. Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Gatto.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley. And Formica. I saw his lips move.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Okay. All right, moving on to ordinance number 6, please.
an ordinance to vacate a portion of the right-of-way previously dedicated to the County of Atlantic for the widening of Old New York Road, County Route 610, across lots 23.01, 23.02, and 23.03, Block 29, in the city of Port Republic. First reading.
Motion.
Second.
Moved in second. Ordinance in its first reading will welcome public comment in its second reading 2 weeks from now. And are there any other freeholder comments on this? Call the roll, please.
Bennett? Bennett?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Formica.
Yes, moving on to resolution 264.
Grant application and acceptance from the South Jersey Transportation Authority for fiscal year 2021 Sub-Regional Transportation Planning Work Program. Funded amount $113,600. County in-kind match $28,400.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any freeholder comments? Public input.
No questions.
Call the roll, please.
Bennett?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Formica.
Yes, moving on to 265.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Transit for Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security, CARES Act, Section 5311 funding, amount not to exceed $745,187.
Motion.
Moved in second. Freeholder input. Public comments.
No comments.
Call the roll, please.
Bennett?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi? Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto? Kern?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Formica.
Yes, 266.
Chairman,
Yes.
just let the record reflect to my other colleagues, this was discussed through the committee budget yesterday. I thought our chairwoman was going to comment on, but all of these were discussed in committee meeting yesterday.
Thank you, Freeholder. 266, please.
Grant acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for the Universal Service Fund, CWA Administration Program, amount not to exceed $10,929.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Freeholder interest. Public comments.
No comment.
Call the roll, please.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Meadow,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 267.
Grant acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for the Low Income Heating and Energy Assistance Program, CWA Administration Program, amount not to exceed $16,393.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any Freeholder comment on this resolution? Public input.
No questions.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 268, please.
Grant application to the New Jersey Office of Emergency Management, Federal Emergency Management Agency for fiscal year 20 Emergency Management Performance Grant, Emergency Management Assistance, funded amount $55,000, county in-kind match $55,000.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any Freeholder discussion? Public comments.
No comments.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi, Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 269, please.
Amending Resolution Number 287, adopted May 14th, 2019, grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Human Services, Division of Aging Services for the State Health Insurance Program, funded amount $33,000, net increase $5,500.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Freeholder discussion. Public comments.
No comments.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Formica.
Yes, 270.
Amending Resolution Number 270, adopted May 5th, 2020, grant application and acceptance from the United States Department of Health and Human Services for the Medicare Advance Payment Grant to be used to cover costs related to COVID-19 at Meadowview Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. Funded amount $269,661.15, net increase $500,000.
Moved and seconded. Okay. Any further discussion on this welcome grant? Public comments?
Comments.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes. I would take a motion to combine and adopt our Chapter 159s, 271 to 273.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Call the roll.
Bennett, Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi, Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes. Professional services, 274.
Amended professional services agreements with various vendors under the 2019-2020 title services pool to extend term date only, no additional cost.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any Freeholder discussion on this no additional cost resolution? Public input.
No comments.
Call the roll, please.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi, Days,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 275, please.
Professional services agreement with the Hope All Day Foundation Incorporated to provide addiction recovery services amount not to exceed $126,059.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Freeholder discussion.
Chairman, just want to mention I spoke with Chris McCumber, who leads the Hope All Day Foundation, and told him this was on the agenda for approval today, and he's very excited and working with a location to narrow that down after the approval, and get everything up and running. And he had this foundation providing addiction recovery support services previously, and I know he'll do a great job with it again.
Okay. There's a bit of feedback coming from somewhere, but it looks like a good resolution with a good cause. Any other Freeholder discussion? Public input?
No comments.
Call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi, Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, moving on to bid contracts, 276.
Bid contract with Godoli Brothers Incorporated to provide heating, ventilation, air conditioning replacement at Harbor Fields Youth Detention Center, amount not to exceed $1,684,000.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any Freeholder discussion on this particular contract?
Chairman, I think I made mine the other day at the meeting. I hope that they would take it seriously and take a look at what I requested.
Could you intimate what that was, Freeholder?
I just basically asked them that we go in to make sure that there's no big change orders coming, like the building in Mays Landing. After they put out the bid, it came back, it was $500,000 to replace the whole entire roof. And I'm hoping that this 1.6845 does not exceed. I know you can't expect 100%. It's done, but I'm hoping at taxpayers' expense, we're very careful how we can spend money. $1.6 million. I hope that takes care of everything. The facility.
Your comments are welcome to my ears. I've been a watchdog of HVAC here for my whole time, and the question I have, Jerry, if you could, I'd like to know what is the warranty on the work being performed? Length of time?
I think Jerry's on the call.
Yeah, Jerry?
Jerry Griffin, you there?
I'm sorry, I had it on mute. Yep, sorry.
Yeah, so my question simply was, given Freeholder Corsi's question that we hope they're tight with change orders, beyond that, what is the time warranty of the work?
There's various warranties. I can get them for you and have them to you tomorrow. But there's warranties on the different compressors. There's warranties on the workmanship. Some are 5 years, some are 10 years. Labor, materials. I can get it for you tomorrow. I don't have it.
I presume they're posting a bond as per usual, right?
Oh, yes. This is replacement of all the HVAC. They're packaged units, packaged terminal air and heat units with new ductwork. All new, it's complete package. It should be no.
Is this a chiller system?
No, it's not. They're all rooftop units.
Got it. Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other freeholder questions? Public input.
Creed Pogue, does the state reimburse any of this?
I'll have to defer to Jerry.
No, they do not. The facility belongs to Atlantic County, and there are no funding other than county dollars for those facilities.
Thank you, Jerry. Any other public input?
Creed Pogue, is this being bonded?
That was just answered, yes. It is. No. Jerry, you want to answer that? He means, is it being bonded
Yes,
on the?
it is. Yes, it is. And Bonnie, I think, is on here too. It is.
Yes, we are using capital dollars for this project.
Thank you. Any other public input?
No further questions.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley, and Formica.
Yes, moving on to 277.
Contract with Jarton Incorporated to provide roof removal and replacement for Meadowview Nursing and Rehabilitation Center and the Cronin Dental Clinic. Amount not to exceed $1,544,907.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Public discussion. I'm sorry, freeholder discussion here. Any public input?
No questions.
Call the roll, please.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 278, please.
Change order number 1, contract with GWP Enterprises Incorporated for parking lot improvements to the Stillwater parking lot and youth shelter basketball court to extend the term date only, no additional costs.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Freeholder discussion here. I could say the Stillwater parking lot would be a welcomed improvement. The public input.
No questions.
Call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Formica.
Yes, 279.
Alternate method contract with MTS Software Solutions Incorporated to provide maintenance service for the DocuWare imaging proprietary software, amount not to exceed $28,163.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Freeholder discussion. Public comments.
No comments.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 280.
Agreement with Environmental Resolutions Incorporated to provide construction, engineering, and inspection services for the bicycle infrastructure project in Margate and Ventnor. Amount not to exceed $65,142.04.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Freeholder discussion here. Public comments.
No comments.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Under protest. Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Freeholder Corsi stole my line. Yes, under protest and duress from the federal government.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes.
Chairman,
Yes,
Record
Freeholder Corsi.
let the record reflect that the chair of the Budget Committee raised a very good point yesterday regarding the $65,000 regarding the bike racks, et cetera. But it's been kicking around a long time. I thought it was a little too much, but if we're gonna do it and get it over with, I guess we gotta move forward with it. But Amy raised good points yesterday. That under protest, I support it.
And
Okay.
these are federal dollars, so it's not our dollars, but it's a lot of dollars to be spending on a bike rack was my point.
So we're going to have another resolution for about $155,000 down the road here. And they're both federally funded, as you just said. So with us spending close to $250,000, but if you don't spend the money, that's the way the federal government structures it. That's the way it's structured to be used. So I can't disagree with your sentiment. 281.
Chairman, may I just,
Freeholder Fitzpatrick.
thank you. Full disclosure, it is 202 bike racks, right? So it's like, it's 321 each for the engineering and 765 each for the actual rack. So $1,000 each.
Okay.
That's correct. And it's not, the Atlantic County is doing the job, but we're doing it on behalf of two municipalities. They did not have the authority to take the money and then do the work. The county had to intercede. So that's why the county's involved. So for example, if Atlantic City called us over to do bikes, I'm assuming Freeholder Corsi will be in protesting that we do it. If we were asked.
Without objection. So noted.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, 281.
Sonia, you're muted.
You're muted, Sonia.
Oh, I was doing so good. Intergovernmental Services Agreement with Cape Atlantic Soil Conservation District to provide technical assistance on water and soil conservation matters, amount not to exceed $20,000.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any freeholder discussion here? Public comments?
No comments.
Please call the roll.
Bennett, Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi, Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, 282.
Intergovernmental Services Agreement with the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority to provide landscaping and groundskeeping services at Oscar McClinton Waterfront Park in Atlantic City, amount not to exceed $24,775.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any freeholder board discussion on this? Public comments?
No comment.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
I seem to have lost them.
okay. Hayes,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Meadow, Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes. 283, please.
Authorizing an additional emergency contract with BioReference Laboratories Incorporated to furnish test kits and test results to be utilized for COVID-19 testing at the Atlantic County Drive-Up Test Site, amount not to exceed $100,000.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Field, of course, we proxy voted yes for you on the McClinton Park. Okay.
Oh, yeah, let the record reflect, that's a yes vote. Thank you.
Any Freeholder discussion on this? Public input on the BioReference Lab?
No questions.
Call the roll, please.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes. 284.
Resolution approving the Atlantic County Youth Services Commission updated bylaws.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any Freeholder discussion? Public input?
No questions.
Call the roll, please.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley, and Formica.
Yes. 285.
Resolution to comply with the Department of Human Services requirements for a standardized board resolution to be filed with the 2019-2020 State Health Insurance Assistance Program grant by the Atlantic County Office on Aging.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any Freeholder discussion here? Public comment?
No comments.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Hayes, Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Formica.
Yes. 286.
National Cooperative Agreement with Enterprise Fleet Management for the lease and management of various county vehicles, amount not to exceed $1,500,000.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Freeholder discussion here.
Chairman,
Freeholder Corsi.
I know we discussed this yesterday at Budget Committee, through you to Jerry. Was Greg able to even look up Budget Enterprise? As I indicated, they have filed bankruptcy with a number of vehicles. Let's take a look at maybe.
Well, I'm not sure. Greg is on and Miss Conover is on, so I don't know. Greg is there.
Either one of them answer the question?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he had a chance today. So Greg, are you there?
That's okay. Jerry,
Speak with Greg. I'll speak with Greg and I'll get back to you.
so my other freeholders know what it is that I'm referring to. There was an article, Hertz has filed bankruptcy and they're probably liquidating all their vehicles, and we're paying $1.5 million to get vehicles from Enterprise for the sheriff's department and other departments. I thought it would be a good opportunity to us to try to reach out to them. We may be able to get more vehicles for the bang of the buck because they filed bankruptcy. I don't know if it works or not. It was just a suggestion.
Thank you, Freeholder. That's a good suggestion. Any other Freeholder discussion here? Public input?
No questions.
Please call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino, Coursey, Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, that brings us to appointments, 288.
Reappointment of Mark W. Ludwig and Philip S. Munafo to the Board of Education of the Special Services School District and the Vocational School District of the County of Atlantic for terms to expire on July 1, 2023.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded, 2 appointments. Any discussion on these appointments by the board? Any public comment on these appointments?
No comments.
We will call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Martino,
Yes.
Martino,
He said yes.
okay, Coursey,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
Formica,
Yes. And that does bring us to the end of our printed agenda.
I think we skipped over 287, Chairman.
Bike racks.
We did.
I plead guilty. 287, please.
Bid contract with Ocean Construction Limited Liability Corporation for the installation of bicycle racks for the Margate Ventnor Bicycle Infrastructure Project, amount not to exceed $154,714.
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Further questions here?
Chairman, just want to make sure the public is very clear that I don't object to the bike racks. I think it's a great thing. I just object to the bureaucracy and red tape we've had to go through to get the bike racks.
So noted. And we can document that. I think it's over 5 years we've been discussing trying to put some type of countywide bike path that I know of. So, okay, so noted. Any other Freeholder comments? Any public input on this, the forgotten resolution by the chairman?
No comments.
We'll call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Martino,
Yes.
Coursey,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes, and that,
Chairman Formica, would you allow me to return to Resolution 270? It was read incorrectly. It was read amending Resolution number 270, adopted May 5th, 2020. Correctly, it should be amending Resolution number 209, adopted May 5th, 2020. Grant application and acceptance from the United States Department of Health and Human Services for the Medicare Advance Payment Grant to be used to cover costs related to COVID-19 at Meadow Nursing and Rehabilitation Center, a funded amount $269,661.15, net increase $500,000. The vote still stands if that's okay, but at the instruction of our solicitor, I wanted to read it into the record correctly.
so the agenda was printed incorrectly.
Yes, that should have said 209, amending resolution number 209, not
Does
270.
Does our solicitor want us to vote on as amended or no? You're still muted, Roger.
Mr. Chairman, I'll just make a motion that we move on it as amended.
All right.
Second.
There we go. You can vote on it. Vote on it again if you'd like to. The correction on the record accomplishes the necessary.
Yes, we have a motion and a second to vote on it as amended. Do I have any comments? Any public input? Call the roll.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Coursey,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto, Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Formica.
Yes. Now I'm going to count to 5.
You're good.
Okay. So now I'm going to say it again. We've come to the end of our printed agenda, I think. Any reports of special committees? Does the board want to report on any of their committees today? Okay. Any unfinished business today? Okay. Any new business today?
Chairman,
Freeholder Fitzpatrick.
thank you very much. 2 years ago, all of us were required to attend ethics training as part of being freeholders. And last year, we were all required to do IT security training, which taught us how to identify fraud and things like that, required training for all of us as freeholders. And in light of recent occurrences in our country, I suggest that we take on an implicit and dismantling racism training as freeholders to identify institutional racism and act upon it when we see it.
Okay, well, I think that's a discussion that we may have with our personnel department, as I think they do a pretty adequate job at the present time. I don't know what the record reflects, but I can tell you that I defy anybody to find systemic racism in this county's employment by the record. If somebody wants to talk about it, I'm sure it exists in a lot of places, but the word systemic seems to rub me the wrong way. It means I'm part of something in this county. But I do think that your sentiment on sensitivities and heightened sensitivities is valid across the entire spectrum of government. So
Okay.
I think that it would be fair to maybe take a look at what programs are in store or have been discussed with our personnel department, HR.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anything else, new business?
Chairman,
Yes, Freeholder Risley.
right. Really, it's something a matter of an old business item. On the May 5th minutes that we just approved, I would just like to state for the record that the votes that were cast, the no votes, meaning not voting votes by myself, was due to technical problems on my end. That meeting, if things were working properly, I would have voted in the affirmative on all those resolutions. So I just wanted to put that for the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else is new business? I have a question. Would it be possible for our public at some point to be able to be heard verbally instead of having to type in comments? Is there any, can we look into the technicality? I mean, everybody and their brother is using Zoom and people are able to talk. I just think that would go a long way to getting the public back involved.
We'll check into it.
Okay, thank you. Any other new business?
Chairman, be careful what you ask for.
Thank you, Freeholder Corsi.
Chairman Formica, this is Bonnie.
Yes.
I just wanted to take an opportunity to report to the freeholders this evening that on June 11th, we held a bond sale for $24,291,000 of general obligation bonds. And there was some discussion early on in the year about whether we should move forward with this bond sale. If there would be any positive bids on the bond sale based on what was going on in the country with COVID. And I'm happy to report that we had 7 bidders for this bond sale, and that our net interest cost for the bond is 1.764%.
Excellent. Everybody knows that means we save money on debt service.
That's
Very
right.
good.
Excellent.
The highest bid was 2.019%, and then the 1.764 was the winning bid. So I just wanted to take an opportunity to report that to the freeholders. And just as a side note, I don't generally report this, but we also sold a note for the Improvement Authority the same week for the county guaranteed $15.5 million for the NARTP building. And that was a 1-year note where my bond was for 13 years. And this is a taxable bond where the county's obligation bonds are non-taxable. But we received a 1.22% net interest charge on the note for 1 year. So we did well there too.
Thank you very much, Ms. Linda. Okay, we'll move on to correspondence. Has there been any correspondence that anyone wishes to discuss that we received electronically or in the mail? All right, seeing nothing, meeting is now open to the public. Does anyone in the public wish to type in any comments at this point?
No comments.
Okay, I'll take anything for the good of the order.
Chairman?
Freeholder Corsi?
Yes, a couple of things. If you know, just last week, Mayor Small had a press conference on the boardwalk in front of Trump Plaza. We were able to work out some agreements with Icon and company regarding the demolition of Trump Plaza. As you all know, it's been an eyesore over the years. Not only did we get one to demolish Trump Plaza, Icon then threw in the second tower, which is where the first floor is, where Rainforest Cafe is located at. That building will come down. Rainforest Cafe will stay. Then in a partnership, we'll work together the terms to find out what could be best use for that site once that building is down. The building will be wrapped. They'll tear it down little by little. So there's a lot of details that go on down. We look forward to it because debris was not only falling in the streets, debris started falling on the boardwalk. And so we had to be very careful in terms of how we allowed that to affect the boardwalk. So moving forward, we're working in partnership with the management and engineering company, with the city of Atlantic City, the Department of Code Enforcement, et cetera, to get that building down safely and on time. The other thing is, proud to announce that last Friday, the city of Atlantic City Executive Order number 3 talks about open containers on the boardwalk. And to my surprise, how successful it was, and it went over very well. The businesses along the boardwalk seem to be very happy with that, due to the fact that a lot of stuff is still closed down. It will be monitored through our police department. As most of you know, we have cameras up and down the boardwalk, on street ends, et cetera. So we will be monitoring that real closely. And just the other day, the mayor had a budget. We had our budget hearing through the state of New Jersey through Lieutenant Oliver. As most of you read in the paper, Atlantic City will have a tax decrease of about, when it's all said and done, I believe it was 5.9.6%, somewhere in that area. However, with this latest news that just came out yesterday with the Senate passing these bills, taking money from CRDA and other places, it's going to have a damper on projects in Atlantic City and around Atlantic County. We know that the state of New Jersey is in a $10 billion hole right now, and money has to come from various departments. So throughout the state and whatever necessary agencies that they oversee, which means at some point there'll be layoffs, there'll be furloughs, et cetera. Given that, we keep our fingers crossed because the folks in Atlantic City, not just the casino industry, and I understand that's a big part for the state of New Jersey when they want to bail out the casinos. what happens to the regular John people of Atlantic City, the mom and pops who struggle like hell to keep their properties. What relief do they continue to get under this bill? None. So, it's unfortunately, that's the way the dice is being rolled at this point in time. We have to wait to see approach where we go from here. And then the other thing is, as you know, yesterday started the outside dining outside. Mayor Small took part in it at Doc's Oyster House, him and his wife, trying to advise people that Atlantic City is open for business and is come out and eat in the establishments. As you know, Frank, right next to you there on Fairmount Avenue, up the street from you, rather. Angelo's outside eating is very nice with the tent and tables, etc.
Yeah.
Harry's, just to name a few. It went over well yesterday. We try to continue to promote that kind of stuff in and around Atlantic City. My inside sources tell me that we may be getting news on casinos opening sooner rather than later now, if they have not already announced it today, which is a big thing. We all would agree that it is. Just want to go back to work, pay their bills. We've got to get the industry running. But I will say this, not on the backs of the folks of Atlantic City and Atlantic County, where we continue to struggle to make ends meet and they continue to get every necessary bailout possible. We've got to remember to look out for the little people. It reminds me of the story, and I'm done. It reminds me of the story of the pilot bill when it was first generated, and those who met at Drumwacket to talk about the pilot bill. Now we have this bill. You just can't win. Every time you turn around, you think you're moving in the right direction, and then you get kicked back 2 or 3 steps. But we got to get stuff open. We got to get sports going. We got to get social distancing, as we know. Folks need to come back to work. I see the county, and Jerry, I stand to be corrected, but is it my understanding that the county has returned its employees, or just about have returned all its employees? You can answer that later if you want to. Someone asked me, was the county up and running full shift? And I told them I did not know that for sure, but I knew it was people in and out of the building working. So with that said, Chairman, I just wanted to also say in closing, there is a candidates forum tonight. It will be the mayoral candidates in Atlantic City. It will be the second ward candidates in Atlantic City, and it will be the Atlantic County freeholders at large in District 3 freeholder candidates forum hosted by the NAACP. And I believe you go on to the Facebook website and you can watch it live. If some of you have absolutely nothing to do and want to root on your candidates, you get an opportunity to see on Facebook Live, since we can't do them in public. And we certainly wish them all well tonight.
Thank you, Freeholder. And when Mayor Small is finished with the magic wand that takes you down 5.3%, could you lend it to Jerry?
I got to get the Jerry.
I just want to know how it's going to be done, but
well,
I don't want to know.
According to the budget, the city went down. The county got a slight increase, and so did the Board of Education.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order?
Chairman, just
yes, Freeholder
kind
Gatto.
of tag on to Freeholder Corsi's comments. I did go down and help quality check at the Tennessee Avenue Beer Hall yesterday morning at 6:30 a.m. as they were the first to.
What a trooper!
I know, took one for the team there, but they were the first to open in Atlantic County, I believe, and there was a great crowd. People were very excited to be out and were absolutely practicing all of the protocols that were in place. And they were doing a great job of ensuring that that was happening as well. And so just want to remind everybody that on Facebook, there's a really great group that the Greater Atlantic City Chamber of Commerce started called the Atlantic County Takeout and Pickup, something of that nature. Group that is highlighting all the places that has outdoor dining. There's also a new group called the South Jersey Outdoor Dining Group that is also highlighting any places that are doing outdoor dining. Don't forget, all of our restaurants are also still doing takeout and curbside pickup. They still need our support as we get through all of this. And I am personally very excited for next Monday and Tuesday when I can get my hair and nails done. So look a lot better for the next coming meetings. And looking forward to our retail shops all opening up. And just a final note, want to highlight and really praise the young people who organized a peaceful protest in downtown Mays Landing on Saturday. Really really passionate and organized group of people who came together and put together a really powerful messaging, moving and motivational messaging, and really positive. It was in conjunction with the Hamilton Township Police Department and the governing body and this group of very interested recent high school grads and college students. And they all work together to basically say, we love our community and we don't want to see hate come here. And we want to work together to make sure that love outshines hate and that we're doing the things needed to keep everybody accountable. So a couple speakers that I wanted to highlight, Darrell Edmonds from Friday is Tie Day. It's a really great organization, really great program. If you haven't had a chance, please go check it out on their website and Facebook pages. He gave some really impactful facts and statistics. Mike Forrest, who runs the I Am More movement, had the pleasure of going to high school with Mikey. He also works for us at Atlantic Cape Community College for the Men of Atlantic Cape, or MAC, which is kind of a continuation of the Friday is Tie Day program, again, helping support these young people in our community as they get through their high school and college careers. Again, some really powerful words from him. The mayor spoke, the chief of police spoke, Bobby Laws, who does a ton of work with our youth and is our track coach at Atlantic at ACIT, did a really great job. And Mike Colazzo, who's a local business owner, owns Anytime Fitness in Mays Landing and Galloway, also told his story. And then several of the students spoke, either giving their story, giving some poetry, but really just some really powerful messages. And I just think it shows that we can work together. I think it really should have been called a community rally because that was really the feel of it. And they just did a really great job, and looking forward to what the outcomes will be from that type of energy in our county.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Sounds like it was a great event. Anything else for the good of the order?
Chairman, if I can, and to be my last, just keep in mind that there's a threat of a protest July 4th in Atlantic City. We have not had any information on it yet. We're hoping that they will reconsider and do it another time. We're trying to get the casinos and businesses open in Atlantic City. We don't need no distraction. Let me just piggyback on what Amy just said. We had a demonstration on Sunday in front of the Public Safety Building. It was very small in numbers, but they were very respectful. They came, stayed 2.5 hours. They were manful. They just came, held their signs, young people, no carrying on, and then they left. And so, you know, it's interesting when you talk about these protesters and all these marches that's going on. We continue to pray for our country in this nation with all this negativity that's going on and the racial profiling, et cetera, that continue to happen. We're better than that. And we've got to show our communities that we're better than that. And what does it profit any of us to go in and tear up our own damn communities because we're mad at somebody? We live here. We need to take care of our own communities, and we need to send that message across this country loud and clear. Let me just say, closing, Chairman, I did receive a note that Atlantic strike that ACIT graduation will be July 8th on the school site. I guess information will be coming forward to the Board of Chosen Freeholders, but it is July 8th, and it will be outside at ACIT.
That's good. Great news. Thank you very much. Anything else for the good of the order?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman,
Other days?
just wanted to follow up on what Freeholder Corsi said and just, remind everyone that in a lot of cases, school is out for summer. The children, they need to get outside, they need to play, so they'll be on their bikes. Take extra caution when you're out there. I do also want to congratulate all of our graduates, high school, college, that are coming back to the area. I had the pleasure yesterday of attending a 8th grade drive-through promotional ceremony at the Gallo Township Middle School. The kids are excited to go back to school. They're excited for summer, but their mental health took a beating as well. I always want to try to keep that in mind, that we need to do what we can to reach out to our children or grandchildren, and make sure that they're able to hopefully socially distance, but also spend some time with friends and family during the summer as well. That's important too. And I also want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, for bringing up the indoor dining question. I also went out and enjoyed some dinner yesterday at Oyster Creek Restaurant and Boat Bar, right on the water. But they're hurting. I mean, they're happy to be back, serving, doing what they do. Everybody was following the CDC recommended guidelines and checking out the Atlantic County Department of Health suggestions. But they're in bad shape. So we need to continue to support them as best as we can. And I also want to thank Michael Chada, the Greater Atlantic City Chamber, for putting together that Facebook page where you can actually search for the places that are doing outdoor dining and still doing curbside pickup as well. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. It's important. We're going to see what happens the next couple of weeks, but there's a serious chance that half of our businesses will be gone here by the end of the summer. Hopefully not. Anyway, something for the good of the order? And I'll take a motion. Take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good day.